Today, I'm flying the world's best first class for 24 hours from Singapore all the way over to London. With 3 flights to take, each will get better and better, finishing in the Residence, a 3-room apartment in the sky. All this does not come cheap though, costing over $20,000. But today, you're joining me on this adventure across the world. With that, let's pick up our journey in Singapore. Well, good afternoon. I'm on my way to Changi Airport to catch our first flight. Traffic permitting, this should take around 20 minutes from Marina Bay. Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel, where we begin the next 24 hours in first class. Let's head in the terminal and go and get checked in. We'll begin our journey in Terminal 1, where I'm flying a brand new airline. Nestled in the far corner of the check-in hall is Starlux Airlines, a Taiwanese carrier which only launched back in 2020, albeit in hindsight perhaps the worst of years to launch operations. Let's go get checked in then at the first class counter. I'm welcomed warmly, with formalities taking just a few moments. With my boarding pass in hand, let's head through security. Thankfully, Singapore being Singapore, it's super efficient, and I'm airside in just a matter of minutes. Now, Starlux don't have their own lounge facilities here in Changi, so I'm invited to use a third-party lounge upstairs. Sadly, not the wonderful Qantas First Lounge, which I used during my layover, flying for 24 hours back from Australia last year. Instead, I'm offered the Mahaba Lounge, operated by Dubai-based Donata. It's not a bad spot for a brief layover, and most importantly, they do offer an ice-cold DC, which is always a bonus. It's not all too long before we have to head to our gate, so let's navigate through the busy terminal all the way over to gate C1. One thing many get caught out with in Changi is the gate security, which can often get quite congested last minute. Not for me, however, as I marched over to a special cordoned off first class area, whilst I take in our gorgeous 2-month-old Airbus A350 aircraft. Right, shall we go and get on board then? I'm escorted down the jet bridge by a friendly Starlux employee, who introduces me warmly to the crew. Let's step into the one and only row of first class. As is the norm in first, I have an entire overhead bin to myself, while I put my rucksack in the footwell and settle into my suite 1 Alpha. I'm promptly offered a cool towel, some nuts, and a refreshing glass of local Taiwanese pink sparkling wine. Let's get that seatbelt fastened then, as the safety video begins to screen.
救生衣在您座位下或座位旁，将黑色腰带拉至前方，扣好，拉紧。本班机全面禁烟，包含禁用电子烟。
So what does our first leg look like? We'll fly for the next 5 hours, some 2,000 miles, over to Taipei International Airport, all ready for our next first class flight this evening. It's not all too long before we reach our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, so let's get that seatbelt off and get comfortable. Naturally, this means booting the Timbs off and getting these super comfy provided slippers on. Before we take a proper look around, let's get lunch ordered. Today's menu is enclosed in this beautiful leather-bound folio. And my word, given we're on board for just over 4 hours, the selection is very impressive. With my order placed, let's explore this Airbus A350. There's a total of 306 seats across 4 classes of travel. We'll focus on the one row of just 4 first-class suites, which I'll have entirely to myself today. Each suite is cocooned in a 70-inch privacy screen, complete with fully closing doors. I've selected seat 1 Alpha, which is my go-to for a solo traveller. Finished in black and grey leather, suede and rose gold highlights, it's a lovely place to be. It's well thought out too, with ample storage space for your essentials as well as an in-seat minibar. Let's get that tray table out then, in preparation for our food. I'll start with a champagne, a phenomenal 2014 Bollinger, which retails at $190 a bottle. Shall we get stuck into our food then? To begin, I opt for the smoked duck orange salad with spinach, mozzarella and a citrus dressing. After another top-up of the Bollinger, we'll move on to soup of the day, which is a lobster bisque dressed with watercress. For a curveball instead of my usual steak, I've opted for the Singapore soft-shell crab in a sweet chilli sauce. My word, what a choice. To close, I go for the seasonal fruit platter. I've got to balance it all out, right? Before trying out the bed, I think I'll freshen up in the forward lavatory. The bathroom is modern, fresh and importantly clean, complete with Starlux branded toilet roll, greenery and even spa music playing in the background. In my absence, the lovely cabin attendant has made my bed up for me on the other side of the aircraft in 1 kilo. The bedding is of high quality Egyptian cotton, complete with a pillow, duvet and mattress topper. I love the privacy offered once the door to your suite is completely closed. I've also requested another Taiwanese speciality, the bubble tea of course. I've certainly never seen this before offered on any aircraft. With a couple of hours left of the flight, let's watch a movie on the 32-inch personal entertainment screen. Feeling thoroughly relaxed, I'm informed we're nearing our final approach into Taipei, so let's head back to my originally assigned 1 Alpha for landing. Welcome to Taiwan's Taoyuan International Airport. We have a brief layover here before connecting onto Emirates' new first class. I'm met directly off the plane by a Starlux representative, who escorts me over to the waiting airline branded buggy. I love the additional effort for first class passengers here, you certainly don't get this on British Airways. As I've got checked baggage and I'm connecting to another airline, I'll have to pass through immigration and collect my luggage. Therefore, I'm driven directly to the correct queue. Thankfully, I didn't have to wait long, and to my surprise, my bags are already waiting for me for my onward connection. Starlux was incredible, I think, as you've seen, but it's only going to step up another level as we go and check in for our next flight. So let's go and do just that. Our next check-in is located at counter 23, and you've guessed it by now, Emirates is beckoning. I'm going to fly their new A380 first class, something I've not actually tried before. Around 20 minutes later, I make it to the counter. Formalities are swift, and within moments I'm able to load my luggage onto the belt as my boarding pass is issued. Now unfortunately, Emirates, or indeed any other carrier, don't seem to offer fast-track security here. Within 30 minutes or so, my passport is stamped and I'm out into the airside part of the terminal. At this point we don't have a great deal of time, so let's head straight to gate C2. Walking down into the departure lounge grants us our first look at tonight's aircraft, this 8-year-old Airbus A380, though to note it's just been completely refitted with a new interior. So let's waste no more time and go and check out what's changed on board. And just before we experience this all new first class, it's time for a quick word from today's video sponsor, Odoo. So I need a website to showcase the trips I go on, something simple but easy to manage wherever I am in the world. Meet Odoo, the best platform to manage your whole business in one place. Oh, and did I mention, the first application on Odoo is free forever. With Odoo's website builder, I'm able to get set up in 4 steps. Within moments, boom, just look at this beautiful website. I can customize my website by clicking anywhere, by changing the text, images, or just by dragging and dropping building blocks to switch up the layout. I'm loving the look of my new Trek Trendy website. You can check it out yourself. I've of course hidden some luxury Easter eggs for you, such as my best tip for upgrading to first class. Odoo has all the features you need to develop your business online. If your needs evolve, just upgrade to the standard paid plan to access all applications. Go check out Odoo today by clicking my link in the video description to get started for free. You'll get unlimited hosting, lifetime support included, and a custom domain name offered for 1 year. Oh wow, Emirates has continued the fitting and upholstery of their Gamechanger product through into the rest of their fleet. Cream coloured leather, lighter toned wood finishings. This is really something special. We're on the upper deck, which also features 76 business class seats, and of course 13 other first class suites. Key standouts of the suite to me is the now famous pop-out minibar, writing kit, and tablet to control every feature of the suite. Let's get my seatbelt fastened as the safety video begins to screen.
Mind should be open and your seat in the upright position. There are 10 emergency exits on the main deck of this A380.
So what's the plan? We'll fly some 4,000 miles over the next 10 hours, all the way to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It's not long before we reach our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. So let's get dinner underway, given it's nearly midnight. Emirates have a pretty extensive menu in first class, ranging from breakfast to a full 3-course meal. Upon placing my order, I'm offered some champagne. Emirates are currently serving a delicious 2013 Dom, and who am I to say no? Let's get my tray table out then, in preparation for our dinner. Well, it wouldn't be a Trek Trendy video if I hadn't gone for the caviar now, would it? Served with the usual culprits of grated egg, sour cream, and finely chopped onion. For main, I've yet again opted not to indulge in steak, and instead choose the Chinese-style braised chicken, served with steamed jasmine rice. Due to just how late it is now, I'll forego dessert in favour of a shower. Located at the front of the first class cabin, there are 2 shower spas for use during the flight. Ordinarily you'd simply book a slot with the flight crew, though as there's only about 4 people in first today, it's pretty flexible. I absolutely love the new design, with polished wood grain throughout, matching with the rest of the A380 refresh. The party piece of course is the shower, which grants you around 5 minutes of flowing water. It's still in my opinion one of the coolest things you can experience in commercial aviation, and only on the A380. Now to change into my provided moisturising pyjamas, you also get a Bulgaria amenity kit, which I rate as the best in the sky. Though do note you also get a range of amenities for your use in the shower spa. Returning to my suite, it's amazing to see a comfortable bed has been made up for me. Though there is one more surprise tonight in store for us. Let's stow my clothes and wash bag in one of the empty suites adjacent and head to the back of the aircraft. Behind business class is the famous Emirates Bar and Lounge, which of course has also been freshly refurbished, and it's looking stunning. And you best believe I got a photo. With that, I think it's finally time for bed. It's been quite the day of travel, with more to come in the morning. Well, good morning. I slept wonderfully, albeit for not quite long enough. As I've just been informed, we're about to make final approach into Dubai. Let's hot-foot it over to the bathroom to get changed. These PJs may look a tad out of place if I wear them in the terminal. Let's get those Tims back on and indulge in a hot towel, before getting my seatbelt securely fastened.
Well, I'm very happy to welcome you to Dubai. That flight was incredible, but we're not stopping there. Of course, we're straight on to our next one. So it's time to go and get my luggage, and then we've got a chauffeur transfer over to Abu Dhabi.
After clearing customs, I'm told to report to the chauffeur drive booth in arrivals. I'm promptly assigned a car, which will take me the 2-hour drive over to Abu Dhabi. This is a complimentary service for first class passengers, and I can be driven anywhere within the UAE. I won't lie, I definitely had a nap during that ride. Now I'm starting to get excited, as our next flight will depart Abu Dhabi's brand new Terminal A. I'm warmly welcomed at the premium entrance, and my bags are taken swiftly into the terminal. You're initially greeted by the business class check-in, though we'll be heading past this and onto our own first class channel. Here I'm invited to take a seat, whilst all the check-in formalities are taken care of. It's not all too long before my boarding pass is presented to me, and I'm beckoned to proceed through security.
Of course, you've probably guessed by now, we're going to be flying the Residence. Let's head over to the lounge, check out the facilities, and of course, get on board.
I must say they've done an outstanding job with this new airport. It's absolutely beautiful, but alas, I digress. Let's head into the Etihad First Class Lounge. This lounge is vast, encompassing 2 levels of the terminal building. I'm warmly greeted by an Etihad representative and given a brief tour of this stunning new facility. From the relaxing space, various food stations, and the a la carte dining room. Given I'm in the Residence, there's an even more exclusive area for us today. I'm led over to a private room named Al Ain, which is the 4th largest city in the UAE, by the way. Aside from the provided refreshments and comfy seating, there's also an ensuite bathroom, so I don't have to venture into the rest of the first class lounge. I'm offered an extensive breakfast menu, though I'd rather save myself for the onboard cuisine, so in this instance I'll just take a caffeine hit in form of a cappuccino. I was asked earlier when I wanted to board the aircraft. Residence guests can choose to be the very first or last to get on board. Personally, I want to maximise every second of this incredible product, so we'll be first on board today. Let's get down that jet bridge then, and onto the A380 for the second time today. Welcome to the most exclusive seat in the sky, the 3-room Etihad Residence. There are no overhead bins here, but I'll stow my bags under the bed in my private bedroom. More on this room in just a moment. Let's get settled into my living room. I'm served a welcome Arabic coffee, which certainly hits the spot. It's not long before we're asked to fasten our seatbelts in preparation for pushback, as the safety video is run.
قبل مساعدة الآخرين، يوجد 8 مخارج للطوارئ على متن هذه الطائرة تجاه المخارج.
So what's the plan? We'll travel some 3,500 miles over the next 8 hours to London's Heathrow Airport. It's not all too long before we reach our cruising altitude, so let's take a proper look around our aircraft. There's room for 497 passengers across 4 classes of travel. We'll be in the only resident suite on board, right at the front. Let's get the privacy door closed and explore the space. The living room is vast, with room for 2 passengers should you wish, comfortably seated on the leather-adorned sofa. Whilst this does recline, you'll want to save any sleep for your separate bedroom down the corridor. Other highlights include your IFE remote for the 32-inch television, and of course a chilled private minibar, which I'm disappointed to see no Diet Coke in. Talking of drinks, I make it champagne o'clock. Now in the Residence you're served a delicious 2002 Cheval Loire, which retails at around $400 a bottle. This clocks in at our most expensive champagne of the trip. So how does it compare? Well, I can confirm it's absolutely delicious, but I still prefer the Dom. Now we simply must place our lunch order. I'm starting to get rather peckish. The menu is spectacular and I think the best so far. With my order placed, let's get the tray table out from the side of the sofa. This is promptly set by the cabin crew as I'm offered some fresh bread. To start, I go for the caviar service once again with all the trimmings. For my second appetiser, I opt for the seared Australian venison with sweet potato puree and mustard fruit. Next, I'm offered a palate cleanser of raspberry sorbet. Now it goes without saying I do listen to feedback, so I will try and explore more options on the menu than just the steak. So for my main I choose the camel kofta, served with aromatic rice, roasted vegetables and a mint yoghurt. I don't think I've ever had camel before, but I can confirm it's very tasty, somewhere between beef and lamb. Let's boot the Tims off then and get comfy. The sun is beginning to set over southeastern Europe, which makes it perfectly excusable to head to my bedroom. However, I fancy taking a shower beforehand. Oh yes, Emirates is not the only shower in the sky. And for the second time in 24 hours, I've showered at 35,000 feet. Unbelievable. Now, the other spectacular feature of the residence is the bedroom door, which shuts to allow for a totally private space. This is truly the closest you can come to flying private commercially. The double bed has been custom made for this space, complete with sumptuous rich Egyptian cotton bedding. You don't need to tell me twice. Let's hop into the bed for a wee nap. I awake to the sound of the captain making the announcement that we'll be coming into land shortly. Let's get the Tims back on for the last time as we begin our final approach into London Heathrow. Let's talk cost. This was not a cheap trip. The first flight was $2,700. Next in, Emirates comes in at $3,800, and finally the residence was $6,500, making a grand total of just over $13,000 or $500 an hour. Welcome to London, and to the end of 24 hours in the world's best first class. What a journey. Thank you so much for coming along with me, and I'll catch you all again next time.